Don't ask me anything I can't answer. Just make it up. That's fine. So like that.
Are you?
It doesn't matter. Take it. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be on yet. You're good. We're going to open it first. On.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Live at 5 from the Power of the Past. I'm Joshua Marsh alongside Emily Versman, and we've added to our show.
We have. We've expanded our coverings.
There we go.
We've not made it to New York yet, though.
We're getting closer. We are in the tractor field, which is just west of the Farm and Home Building, where we spend each evening with you live from the Decatur County 4-H Fair. So we are back at the fairgrounds to talk about the 35th annual machinery show out here at the fairgrounds. Power of the Past is a huge regional draw and regional activity for everyone to come together. So Emily, you and I are going to spend the week talking with different people and talking about different organizations that are represented out here as well.
So many traditions have started here at the Power of the Past, and they continue on with different families, different businesses, all kinds of different people. So we're going to talk with all kinds of people this week. The feature tractor this year is John Deere, so I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot about John Deere. We also, I think, are going to have some guests that have come from out of town that we'll be able to talk with as well. Some of the vendors that are here, and I know they've been coming for years. So as the week progresses, we will make our way through the Power of the Past. I was out and about this morning. Great crowd out today, and the weather is beautiful, a little warm, but doable.
That's right. It's actually a beautiful August evening in southeastern Indiana. The show is underway. It started today. It's going to run through Saturday with the auction on Sunday, and so there's definitely a lot to see.
There is hours. They open at 8 o'clock. Everything closes down at 8 p.m., and it's $5 to get in, $15 for a wristband, and that gets you on for the whole entire weekend. We do want to say a big thanks to Russ Hubler Ford. They are presenting Live at 5 for the Power of the Past. Also, Scripture Automotive, Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, and Gillent Howe Funeral Home. We will take a quick 2-minute break, and when we come back, we will talk with Joe Mobley, who's going to answer every question that we could ever have.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Good evening and welcome back to the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds for the 35th annual Power of the Past. We are live from the tractor field on the west side of the fairgrounds. We hope that you'll come out and see us this evening. There's a $5 fee to get in, or a $15 wristband will cover you for the entire weekend. So we hope that you'll come out and see us. Our first guest of the show is Joe Mobley. He's here to answer all of our questions.
That's right. Everything we could want to know, Joe has the answer. That's what they tell me.
So Joe, what's the, first of all, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to those that may not know you, and then why don't you ask yourself the first question, and then we will get started from there.
Oh, hit your button.
Is it on?
There
you
we go.
I appreciate no pressure here. I'm
right.
Joe Mobley. I'm the vice president of the club.
How long have you been involved with the Power of the Past?
Now, 10 years-ish, give or take.
So why are you involved with it? Where do you come from that made you want to get involved with the Power
I
of the
grew
Past?
up on a farm. I mean, literally. We had an F-20 when we was kids. We parked it behind the barn because you couldn't crank start it. And we jump started. And we rode F-20 around. And Dad painted it, cleaned it up. That was our first antique tractor. And it wasn't antique that long ago, but that's kind of where it all started.
So what part do you play in this show? You're the vice president this year, so that obviously comes with some responsibility.
Basically, anything nobody wants to do.
Joe does
You
it.
would think the president and vice president, but it doesn't work that way. We do everything. It doesn't matter what it is, we do everything.
So the feature this year is John Deere.
Yep.
Great showing out there. Do we know how many tractors we're at this point?
Oh, I think Clark said we ought to be close to 200 by the end of the day on feature tractors alone, probably in the mid-threes on total tractors, equipment, whatnot.
All right, and beyond tractors, there's other pieces of machinery out there. So tell us about, we've got hit and miss, we've got steam engines.
With steam engines, we got a guy over here making ice cream with hit and miss engines, and pretty good ice cream. We've got graders, we got the old antique, my gosh, they probably use 80, 90-year-old pull-type graders that they usually pulled with horses sitting back here. Quite a bit of pull-type antique equipment. And the steam engines as well, back in the back. And we got a dynamometer for a steam engine. Was a huge fan. Doesn't make any sense, but it takes a lot of horsepower to pull that big fan, and it moves a lot of air.
Now you also have a sawmill back there this year.
We got the sawmill going this morning, and we've cut quite a bit of lumber. And it's, I think we've done some math on it. I think it's in the mid-80s on the age.
Really?
Yes.
There's lots of history when you look out across the tractor field.
There's a lot of work. There's a lot of rework. You don't know the amount of rework that goes into it. You drive by, you look at it. That's a cool old tractor. It's nice and slick. Now, you don't have a clue what that tractor started out. You know what it come off the assembly line looking like, but, you know, you get a 1964 John Deere 4010, and when they're done with it, especially the ones out of the South, there's a lot of them that Bill's got here that come out of the South, and they use them down the rice fields and everything else. Boys, they're hard on them down there, and there's a lot of rework done. The rework, unless you've done it, you don't know what it is. It's a lot of work.
What's something that if, you know, there's a lot of folks that don't know much about maybe the agriculture or the history behind the tractors. I know there's a lot of people that spend all weekend out here. If somebody doesn't know much about it, how do they feel welcome and enjoy the weekend when they come out?
All they gotta do is ask questions. I mean, I got guys that walk up to some of my equipment, look at it. I've got an F-20 back there with 2 engines on it. And I might be on a dead run to do something. If I got somebody looking at that thing, I'll stop and I'll start it and I'll explain it to them. Makes their day, you know. And there's a lot of people will stop and ask you a question about something, and I'll make every effort to answer it the best I can, because if they don't know, they need to know. This is how we got where we're at.
There's definitely a lot of opportunity out here for education, and I feel like that's something that the Power of the Past has really taken an active role in over the last few years, if not 35 years, because I believe school groups and different groups come out this week as well, or have in the past. How does that process work?
The fourth graders come out. We got North Decatur, South Decatur, St. Mary's, Greensburg, and we take them around to all the points what we think are worth their interest, you know. And back to the Thrasher, we've got a steam engine. The one steam engine back there was a 1913. I think the Thrashers are in close to 100 years old, if not older than 100, you know. And you tell those kids that, and some of them you talk to them and you think, when I ride the wagon, I tell them, I said, here's how this started. Back in the day, Dad had the hand scythe. He cut the wheat down. After that, it was Mom's job and the kids' job. They drug the wheat up. They beat the heads out of it on the grain, on the blanket, dumped it in the sack, sewed the sack up, and then Dad come back and got it. It was a hard job. Then the Thrasher come along. How'd the Thrasher come along? Because somebody got tired of beating that wheat against the ground. They sat at the kitchen table and figured out how to build a Thrasher because they were tired of the manual labor. And that's terrible amount of manual labor, a Thrasher. But it's like, my gosh, what you came from is no different than today. You know, riding around on an open station tractor, getting sunburnt or freezing to death, wind burnt, 4-bottom plow, freezing to death one way, burning up the other way, you know, and then here comes the cab or the heat houser. Then here comes the cab. I mean, it's all, you know, it's somebody trying to hunt something down better.
I had the opportunity, I'm a farm kid from Jackson Township, and so my great-grandfather started with a horse and a plow and got to ride in the combine with my grandfather, or with my father, with a GPS-monitored system, right? That's incredible advancements in a lifetime. And I've had the fortune, earlier this year, I went with the Indiana Department of Agriculture to Indonesia, and we were talking with them about agriculture, and they the thing they wanted to see when they came to the United States was a walking factory. And what they meant by that was a combine, because to them, that device is an entire factory. It requires all of the manual labor, and it just does it as it moves.
That's where the word combine came from. It's a combination of all the factors thrown into one. I've got a 56 International Combine that steers with sticks, just like a zero-turn mower. And it's no hydraulics. It's all gears and belts. If you lay underneath this combine and look at it, there's no way this thing should work.
Yeah.
No cab, 32 bushel grain tank. And that's, you know, it was made in Ontario, Canada, where the swathers were made. And you looked like you were miserable at the end of the day cutting soybeans. I mean, if anybody's cut soybeans, had soybean dust on them, you know, you don't want that on you, period. And then this person sitting in an open station, my grandpa done that. He done that in 56. It's like, holy mackerel. Talk about improvements. You can put a crock pot in a combine right now, don't even have to watch the rows, and it'll do it all for you.
I think it's important out here, too, that people appreciate that aspect. It's a good view of where we've come from, like you said, to where we are today, and bringing your kids out to see that, you know, it's not always been what it is.
Well, you can look behind you. There's a Waterloo over there. Mary Meyer brought out a brand new tractor. There is 100 years of progress right there.
Right, one field.
100 years, 12 feet apart.
Okay. So what did you personally bring out to the show this year?
I've got a 36 F20 with 2 engines on it. I've got my grandpa's 52 International M. I've got a 62 Farmo Wheatland, which was built and processed built and sent out west. And that particular tractor is what they call a bareback. All it had was hydraulic outlets on it and a hitch. Because out west, they pulled big equipment. Wheat, mostly, it's the reason they called it a Wheatland. Big tires, big fenders, horsepower, and go. And then I've got a 706, 65 model 706. All my stuff is almost as old as me. You know, the Wheatland's older than me. Of course, naturally, the F20's older than me. M's older than me. My grandpa bought that M brand new out of the dealership in Hope. It come in on rail over at Richmond, Indiana. He lived in Clifford. He knocked the sides off the farm truck, drove it over, and got it taken home.
And what's it like for you, I mean, knowing that your grandpa worked with it, and it's just stayed in your family, and you guys
Oh, it's
continue.
cool. Yeah, no, I've got actually a neighbor that gave me a set of front cultivators for it because those had front mounted cultivators, and we're going to cultivate the corn crop out here next year. We cultivated with a rear mount this year, but we're going to use that tractor to cultivate our crop out here next year.
Sure. Very
So
good.
it's going to go back to work.
Very good. Well, Joe, we appreciate you being on with us this evening.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
You've answered all our questions, I think.
Thank you for being here.
That'll get us through this evening, and I'm sure we'll see you again sometime this week. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We want to be sure that we appreciate our sponsors. Russ Hubler Ford has a title sponsor this year, the Live at 5 from the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds on behalf of the Power of the Past, alongside Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, and Gillenhouse Funeral Home. 2 minutes, we'll be right back from the tractor field.
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah. Oh, are you on? I'm on.
On. There we go.
There you go. We're on.
Wow, it sounds better.
Way
There we go.
better. Way better. Right. Okay.
Can we interview the sweat bees?
Aren't they awful this year? They're everywhere.
She's ready.
Welcome back to the Russ Hubler Live at 5 show, coming to you.
25 seconds.
Oh. That's fine. Good evening and welcome back to the Russ Hubler Live at 5, coming to you live from the Power of the Past at the Decatur County Fairgrounds.
We are on the west side of the fairgrounds out here. We hope that you'll be able to come out and join us and participate in the 35th annual Power of the Past. There's a lot of tractors that are here. More are expected to come in yet this evening. The hit and miss engines are up and running. Vendors are out here. And plus, it's a beautiful night.
It is lovely out. Tomorrow they're maybe a little iffy, but tonight is beautiful. So come on out. Wednesday night was an additional night they added to the Power of the Past to give it a little extra day to get out and see everything. We want to welcome Bill Obermeyer this evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
We're happy to have you.
Well, thank you.
You've got quite the collection of the feature of John Deere this year. Tell us, I know you've brought out quite a lot of your collection, but tell us about what you have.
I kind of specialize in high crop tractors. They're just kind of unique. I think the first one I bought, it came from Spokane, Washington. I've got them out of Louisiana, Florida, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, and Canada. Maybe some other places, but
All around the world, right?
Not around the world, but in the state, yeah.
So, Bill, how many John Deeres do you have here this year, first of all?
Here at the show, I think there's 29 tractors and 2 lawn and garden and 3 hit and miss engines.
So that's quite a few, but that's not your entire collection.
That's correct.
How many do you have in your collection?
Around 50.
And so that obviously takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. You have a passion for it. And I want to get back to the high crops because I don't know that most people maybe know what that term means. But what started your interest in this, and then what's kept it going for however many years you've been doing it?
I guess how I got started in it, I kind of helped with early on with the Power of the Past when we actually got a group of guys together and had an exhibit of tractors along Park Road. And talked to Clark. I think there were only less than a dozen, and then that's when we started to get the organization together. But how I got involved with the very first tractor, in the grain handling business, and a guy had a B John Deere, and he goes, he needed some parts, and he said, would you trade this in on the parts? And I said, yeah. And I really didn't know much about it at the time. I can't remember what year it would have been. And that got my interest, and then it just kind of ballooned from there.
So as you've, over the years, collected more and more items, do you have one that's your favorite?
I believe the one under the tent's still my favorite. It's there were only 16 of those made, and it's the first gas model of the 16. And it's always starts easy and drives real nice, and it's a nicely restored tractor. So I think that one's probably my favorite.
So what is it?
It's a 630 John Deere high crop.
And what year?
That one's a 58 or 9. I can't remember. Too many to remember.
Tell us more about the high crop for people that aren't familiar with that term.
They were used, a lot of the tractors I got originally came from California, and they were on Japanese farms that grew fruits, vegetables, and asparagus. So they were used for that, and then the ones from the south, from Louisiana and Florida, were sugarcane. And most of those, they got abused pretty hard. The hard hands really weren't very gentle with them. A lot of them, you'll notice, since they set up, the axles are high and they were cracked, or they welded angle irons to them or whatever, because they let them bang, and they were they were rough on things.
Now, how did you get started in agriculture as a whole?
I grew up on a farm in Ripley County, and went to Jacksonville, and actually senior year I was planning on going to Purdue to study to be an ag teacher, and then I kind of lost interest in it, and it took me a couple years before I went to college. And then when I came home, I think the first summer, I started working for Clarence Cup and Sonny Cup, building wire corn cribs and grain bins. And then it just kind of, through college, it just kind of ballooned. And then actually in November of '82 is when I started my own business.
Which obviously is the Overmeyer Agri Group. You've been involved in a lot of that throughout the years. How is that industry? You know, we talk a lot about tractors and history here. You talked about wire corn cribs. How's that industry changed? And, you know, I guess maybe an interesting question to you is, what do you think that's going to look like when somebody else is sitting right here? Because I'm sure they won't keep Illinois around for the next 50 years. But when somebody else is sitting here in 50 years at the Power of the Past, what do you think the grain handling industry is going to look like? What are some emerging technologies in that space?
We're getting more technology, for one. I mean, 20 years ago, we really didn't have very much technology in ag. A lot of things were manual. Saw a drone. I did RFD TV today, and they had a drone. My son operates a drone for our business. We'll go out to a job site and fly the drone, take pictures, put it on a CAD system. We can have the customer come and put it on Google Earth, and he can see his farm and additions to what we're going to do, propose to do. So that's been a big change in the last 5 years. And I think the drone that we have, I think will go out a 12-mile radius. It's pretty amazing from when I started, the size of the jobs to what we do now. We're in the process right now it's a farm, quote, elevator, but we're building a 105-foot diameter bin, and it's on an 8-foot foundation, and it's going to be 40 rings high. So it's just the sidewall is going to be over 120 foot tall. I think it holds close to 800,000 bushel, I'm sorry. So things have really changed. far as the next 5 years, I'd say there's going to be more technology, and especially in the crops, getting more bushel per acre, and we need robots to help us build all this equipment. It's what we need.
Now, you mentioned your son. Talking family-wise and the collection you have, how are they involved with the business, but also the collecting of agriculture equipment and those kind of things?
My son's been in business with me since 2012, and he pretty well runs the business now. He's got interest in the antique tractors. He drove some over here, but he's very involved, and he's got 3 young boys, so it's pretty hard to devote any extra time. His oldest boy's 6 years old, and he's a little mechanic, and he knows how to run all our telehandlers, and he goes with his dad on crane jobs and knows crane signals, so I'm hoping 1 out of the 7 grandkids takes over. The oldest is 19, a girl, and she's helped me with some restoration.
Very good. Well, thank you for being here this evening and sharing your story. We sure appreciate it. So much history that you brought here. I have to mention a bit of history with you and WTRE, though. You own our combine.
That is very true.
Yes. Did you know we had a combine?
I do kind
You
of
remember
recall
that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going down I-74 one evening, and I saw the combine in the field harvesting beans, and I thought, boy, that looks neat. So I wound up getting an entire collection of the old ones, the Model 40, the 45 you guys had, the 55, the 95, and the 105. And recently I sold all of them but the 40 and the 45. I'm keeping them. So they take up a lot of room.
They're big machines.
Yeah, but they're neat looking.
Yeah.
And then you also have at your business, you have sort of a historic memorabilia section in your lobby that's on display year round. So you've really invested, and then we've talked before about old vehicles and old cars.
Right.
You've got some of those. So you've definitely got a great collection of history pieces, and you've got a piece of that out here along with so many of the other community partners at the Power of the Past. So there's obviously a lot to learn. I think you spend most of the week out here as well, so I'm sure if somebody's got questions, they
Be
can
glad
find
to
you
talk
down.
to them. Yes.
All
Thank you,
right.
guys.
Thank you so much. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with another guest here live from the Power of the Past.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Live at 5, presented by Russ Hubler Ford from the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds at the 35th Annual Power of the Past. We have our next guest with us, who is a first-time attendee.
All right, so you are from Ridgeville, Indiana.
Yep.
Tell us, hold up to your mouth. There we go. We got your button on?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So tell us where Ridgeville is at.
So it is about a half hour, probably east of Muncie.
Pick it up.
There you
Yep.
go. Yeah.
Yep, about a half hour east of Muncie.
Okay, first time coming to the show.
Yep, first time come to show.
So tell us what you brought.
So I brought a 50 horse K steam engine, and I've had it from 4 years. Went up to pretty close to Wisconsin and picked it up 4 or 5 years ago, and just got it running here first of the year. So hitting up some shows here this summer.
What inspired you? You're not old enough to have bought it new.
No,
so what inspired you to get into this line of just interest in collection?
So I had a couple friends, older friends back home, and they ran a sawmill, and the other one he had a thrasher, and just took interest in it and really enjoyed it. So I had an opportunity of making a purchase there a few years ago on one. So that's kind of how I got into it.
So do you have a history in agriculture?
Yeah, yep. So I'm a fourth generation. Family farm back home, and we're all corn, beans, row crop, and raise pigs also. So contract growers on the hogs.
Now, is this the first show that you've been out to, or have you been to some others?
Yep. So I started in Winchester, Indiana. They had a tractor show, and then I just a couple weeks ago went to Rushville, and then this will be my third one. And then I'll finish up there at Portland at the Tri-State there in Portland, Indiana. So, here in, right after this show.
So can you tell us a little bit about the history with your case? Like, do you know, like what it did originally or where it started? And
I've tried to look up the history. I actually got a couple guys that are trying to find the history, but I don't know too much about it right now. So.
Did you do the restoration on it?
No, I still working progress. So, yep, I got a guy from Rushville, Mike Turner. He put all new tubes and flues and everything else in there. So he all new Schedule A plumbing. So he got it up and going for me. And got it going.
I think it's important because I'm going to bet a lot of people don't know what a steam engine is that they may be listening. So tell us what a steam engine is, what it does.
So more or less, you can use wood or coal and fill the thing full of water, and it heats that water and builds steam, and it makes power off that steam. How much pressure you bring that steam up to, more or less that's how it gets the power. And they use steam engine for thrashing, blowing chaff up into the hay mows, for bedding or however they're for livestock. And out west, even around here, they back 100 years ago they worked fields. They plowed, turned over dirt, and got everything ready to go for the next crop year.
are you doing any of the demos out here this week? Are you going to be involved in the? I see you got a log rule in your pocket.
Yep.
And so are you part of the sawmill crew as well?
So, yep, I'm going to be running the sawmill here for the next few days.
Number one sawmill.
Yep,
This is how they broke him in. First year, bumped him to the top.
Head sawmiller or head
Yep.
sawer, right?
Something like that. But yeah, nope, I'm going to be running the sawmill, and yeah, we got it running good, and so we got a couple different steam engines that are going to be running the sawmill. So yeah, it'll be fun. We got a lot of logs to put through it here the next few days, and yeah, we'll be keeping that blade moving.
Is this your first time working with a sawmill like that, or is this something you've done in the past?
Yep. So I actually have a sawmill back home behind my house, and I've had it running for 4 years now. And so, yeah, yep. So I've done it for a few years here now.
All right. Well, we thank you for being here and coming to the show here in Greensburg. And you do have some local ties, though.
Yeah, yep. So my in-laws are from here, and Jim and Geraldine Brewer over by Hartsville, Indiana.
Okay.
So, yeah, yep.
Come back home for a little bit, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, yep, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and enjoy the show.
All right, thank you.
So we are live at 5 out at the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds. Emily and I have extended the show.
We've extended, yes.
We're very fortunate to have been asked by the Power of the Past crew to come out and spend the evenings with them to talk about what's going on out at the fairgrounds. We encourage everyone that may be listening or watching on YouTube to come out and join in on the fun. It's a great family-friendly activities and different things to check out. They're going to be here all the way. I think stuff runs through Saturday, mostly auctions on Sunday.
I think so. I think the toy show maybe Sunday morning as well, and a few of the food vendors. But yeah, through Saturday is the bulk of the show. $5 to get in, $15 for the weekend. Great entertainment for the entire weekend. And the food. Have you surveyed the food yet?
Well, you saw me. I came in like right before we came on the air. So
not yet.
Not yet.
But there's a lot of good stuff out there. We had a warm cookie earlier. I can't remember the name of the place. Dirty Dough, that was it, and it was good. So,
and there's plenty of ice cream made by Hit and Miss Engines, and there's lots of other great stuff happening out here. I think the Beach Tiki Bar and Grill's here this year too. So all of that sort of happens over on the east side, kind of by the buildings where the Hit and Miss Engines are, and then all the tractors are out on the west side. So you'll definitely want to be sure to do that. There are some rules. You'll see a bunch of golf carts and UTVs driving around out here. There are some rules. You need a pass and permit for that. But if that's something that you need for mobility reasons, please check in with the office and the gate folks, and they'll get you pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I know earlier they told me you do have to be 16 to drive on the grounds, and you do need to show proof of insurance. If you want to bring out your vehicle, you can do that. You just need to have that all done. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got another guest ready to go here in just a couple minutes on Tree Country 1330 from the Russ Hubler Live at 5 show from the Power of the Past.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Welcome back to the Russ Hubler Live at 5 from the Power of the Past here at the Decatur County Fairgrounds. It's a beautiful evening out.
It is, and we're on the west side of the fairgrounds out here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the tractors behind us. If you are watching, be sure to click the like and subscribe button. If you're listening on the WTRE on the radio, come out and see us.
That's right. You can come out and watch. We're exciting people.
That's right. Our next guest actually is a fellow classmate of mine, Riley Buning. She's joining us as from the representatives of the younger generations that have been coming out here since we were his age. So tell us who you've got with us and what the Power of the Past has meant to you and how it helps your family connect annually?
I have my 2-year-old son. If you can't hear him right next to me, his name is Riggs. He's a little fussy just because it's hot out here, but it's still good evening. Yeah, I've been coming out here since I was probably his age with my grandma and grandpa, Carl and Marilyn Buning. They've been setting up here for 30 plus years. It just means a lot to us being a farming family and setting up and seeing the tractors and the younger generation seeing all the engines run. My 6-year-old and 2-year-old love tractors, so it's just important to get them into that kind of power of the past kind of feel and let them experience this type of generation, hopefully keep it around for a long time. So absolutely.
And tell us about your grandparents and what they set up here.
My grandpa is a jack of all trades. He's got all kinds of John Deere engines. He's got the corn shellers for all the kids that come around for the schools around here. He's known for that. He's got kind of water pumps, corn grinders. I mean, you name it, he has it in his trailers. And my brother also brings his Willys Jeep up here from the military kind of aspect. So we have all kinds of stuff.
So coming up as a kid and now being an adult and being here, what do you treasure the most about the power of the past?
Just honestly being with my grandparents, because this is something that they love and they're sharing that with us, and me being able to pass it down to my boys as well. But just seeing all the older generation enjoy something so neat and passing it on to us. So that's my favorite part.
What's one of those things that is a tradition for you? Is there something that you have to eat every year, or there's something you have to see or do?
Ooh, that's really just walking around the old school tractors back here. The steam engines, that's the main thing my boys love. Having them shell the corn in my grandpa's tent, that's the main things. Ice cream for sure, and then the tenderloin tents. Yep.
You've hit all the good stuff.
Oh, everything. There's not a bad thing around here.
And it's a full weekend. I think that's the nice thing is you can come out and spend the entire weekend, and there's something different every day.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What's the, obviously this year's John Deere, but it changes every year.
Yes.
So do you have a preference?
John Deere all the way. So this is the best year.
Oh, well, there we go. And when we were talking to Bill Overmeyer earlier, I was talking to him before we went on the air. I think he said it had been 7 years since it had been the John Deere year. And so it only comes around every so often. He said some of these he hasn't even ran since it was the John Deere year last time. So so it takes a minute. So he's 2 now, so he'll be 9 when the John Deere year comes back around. What do you think we've got to get him a John Deere cake?
Oh, we're going to have to get him something John Deere, maybe even a little tractor.
Will he be in the pedal pull?
No, not this year.
Not yet. We're not there
He's
yet,
not
right?
contained enough.
Well, there are so many kid activities out here as well, and I think that's with you having to. It's important to know that you can come out and do all kinds of fun stuff.
Yes. Yep.
I think he wants to tell us hi, and that's okay.
You want to say hi? Say hi.
Can you tell us your name?
You say Riggs. He just wants to hold it.
Just hold the mic. That's right. It's pretty in yellow. Well, thank you so much for being on with us this evening. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Again, so much family tradition that goes on here at the Power of the Past. And as we look around, that's what you see. Is you see families moving in groups and out just, taking in the evening.
That's right. And I think we're going to come back with our next guest, which will be Casey Clark. He's going to talk to us about what's happening across the street, which is the hit and miss engines. But of course, we want to be sure that we think Trailer Sales of Indiana for their stage this evening. Russ Hubler Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, and Gillen Howe Funeral Home, of course. And then we've got all the support staff, I think. Who's back at the station helping us out?
We've got BJ back at the station tonight. We've got Dave Henderson and Sandy Bittinger, Jeremy Stallsmith, and Kathy all out this evening. So our staff is really great to us.
That's right. They help take care of us. So we're going to do a quick break, and then we'll be back to talk with Casey about what's happening directly across the street.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
Good evening and welcome back to the Decatur County 4-H Fairgrounds for the 35th annual Greensburg Power of the Past. We're excited to be at the Live at 5 sponsored by Russ Hubler Ford. Our next guest is Casey Clark, who has a big emphasis on the other side of the street, which is a part of the event. So Casey, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening over there and then what you do specifically?
Well, I am in charge of the lawn and garden tractors and also the stationary, or commonly known as hit and miss engines. And I just had my dad do a count because we did everything in a mad dash. I didn't even get a chance to count how many we brought out, but it was 14, and then I've got a big tractor out in the big tractor field. So we've got quite a display out there.
How did you get started with the hit-miss engines?
Well, I'm more of the lawn and garden end of that field, but it's all one and the same. My granddad was one of the founding members of this club, and his name's Sonny Cup, and basically almost all of my collection is remnants of what he's restored and things like that. And once he passed away, I took it upon myself to try to preserve as much of it as I could, because I know it meant a lot to him, and I know he put a lot of work into not only this club but his collection.
What's some of the items that you have out here?
So I've got I think 4 or 5 John Deere lawn and garden tractors. The big tractor out in the field's a 1947 M that he repainted as well. And a lot of my demonstrations, at least in the lawn and garden field, are working demonstrations, such as we have a way to make homemade ice cream off of a 1961 Cub Cadet with a belt pulley system. And there was a homemade thing that he made that would crush cans with a cylinder and a Fairbanks engine. And we also have a to-scale grain elevator that's to scale with a John Deere 140, and it runs off a front PTO, which in itself is a pretty rare implement, but throwing a to-scale grain auger is pretty neat as well.
Now, when you talk lawn and garden, there's a huge turnout for that as well. We talk a lot about just tractors, but the lawn and garden also is a big emphasis here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really an easy way to get into this hobby, because a lot of people that are interested in this might not have a lot of square footage for storage and things like that. And then when it comes to working on these old lawn and garden tractors, Kohlers are pretty bulletproof. You can get just about any one of them, and it won't take much to get them running right, and they look just as nice as the big tractors when they get all done up and you put a lot of effort into them, and then you don't have a lot of room to store them, like I've got 15 or 14 of them over there, and I've got them all in one building. And then it's pretty easy to get into that form of the hobby, and then maybe transition into the bigger stuff if you are committed enough to it. And it's really nice, and the kids always seem to get a kick out of these little lawn and garden tractors, because they're stuff that's not too intimidating to them. They can sit on them and possibly want to run them and things like that.
So then let's talk a little bit about, as you oversee, and I'm sure sometime this weekend we'll have a chance to chat with some folks from the stationery section as well, but let's talk about that a little bit. There's a bunch set up. There's a lot of different versions out there. What are some of the unique items? We just talked to Riley a little bit about it, but what's some unique items out there that you always look forward to seeing?
Well, like what she mentioned, Carl Buning brings out a phenomenal display. You know, he's got a rock crusher. He's, you know, the corn sheller. She mentioned all that stuff. But when it comes to catching eyes for the kids' sake, Carl's top of the line when it comes to that side of the field. And then everybody else, you know, like Mr. His name's Mr. Dingman. His name was fleeting me. He's not right next to me like normal. So Mr. Dingman has a very popular display, and he's very good with the kids. So it's there's a lot of good displays, but those are just a couple of them that are here basically every year, and they're really well spoken, and they really know how to captivate the kids.
You talked about your granddad, so obviously that's how you got involved here, but tell us about your agriculture background.
I don't have much of an agriculture background. I mean, I drive a semi, and every once in a while I'll haul liquid fertilizer and things like that. But my family was farmers, and actually Bill was an employee of my great granddad and my granddad, Sonny Cup, and Clarence, when they were putting together corn cribs and things like that. So I still have a pretty good connection with Bill, and he always comes up with some good stories that we can reminisce on about my grandpa and my great-grandpa.
And I think that's the important part when you talk about being out here is the heritage. And you don't have to have an agriculture background to be here. That's not a part of it. It's the family and it's the tradition.
Yeah, you meet some really good people in this hobby, and like Joe mentioned, you know, a lot of people will give as much information as they want, as you can fathom. And you know, if something breaks, you know, Mr. Dingman or anybody out there, you know, if they knew what could possibly be going wrong, they'd drop everything to come help you. So, you know, that's one of the great pulls to this hobby, is that even though, like you mentioned, if you don't have a vast agriculture background, you can still get into the hobby relatively easily, and you can meet some great people along the way. Real salt of the earth.
What makes you want to continue to be a part of this organization? Because you are on the board of directors?
Yep, this is the second year I've been a director. You know, it just goes back to the people, and then, you know, I really enjoy having the school kids come out, you know, for each day of the week that we run the show from Wednesday to Friday. And you know, I've been to a lot of shows, and a lot of shows don't do that or put that much effort into it, because it is a big undertaking trying to organize all that. And we got a great supporting cast at the Power of the Past that is more than prepared to put forth the effort to make sure that happens. And yeah, it's really great. I look forward to it every year. This is the longest stretch that I'll take off the entire year out of work.
You talked earlier about kids coming through. We talked with a guest earlier about the educational opportunities out here. So are you actively engaged in that too when the school groups come through? And if so, what is it that you're hoping to relay to them?
So ever since I donned the yellow shirt, I've been more or less told that I was going to be one of the tour guides. And at first it was a little intimidating because I wasn't much of a public speaker, and I didn't think of myself as very well spoken. But what also helped was that the amount of knowledge that I have, not only just in hit and miss and garden tractors, but when it comes to John Deere's and even internationals and even some of the lesser known classic tractors, I've got enough information stored away that I can be competent enough and confident conveying my message to those kids, and more often than not, they're more than happy to listen. And then when it comes to demonstrations out in the backfield, they're also great when it comes to, you know, giving their I'm more or less a guide, and, you know, I basically just walk them to one demonstration to the other, and then, you know, try to sprinkle in a little bit of my knowledge, and then as soon as they get to their demonstrations, then I can let the demonstrators do their job.
Okay, our last kind of couple questions that I think we're going to develop as a routine here is, what's your favorite food out here that people got to be sure to get to? I personally, the chicken end's been at the Power of the Pass for
as long as I can remember, and it's always a pretty solid place to get a meal.
Okay, and then what's your? We got John Deere this year, but what's your favorite year?
It's going to be John Deere. I mean, I've got a little bit of both. I'm kind of a I have the only reason I'll just say this. The only reason I have internationals is because my granddad put a lot of effort into them and he had a lot of knowledge on them, but he also liked John Deere's as well. So when it comes to that, I'm kind of an anomaly. So I like both colors to a certain extent.
Emily and I have a little bet going on where I'm about to win $20 off of her because I took John Deere and she got everything else.
Aren't you just precious?
Well, thanks, Casey, for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the good work you do to help keep the power of the past moving forward, even with the next generation. So thank you. We look forward to seeing you, and good luck this weekend.
Yep, no problem. Thanks.
All right, we'll come back here and we'll take one last break, come back and wrap up the show live from the Power of the Past. Again, everything closes up at 8 o'clock going on until Sunday, but Saturday's the last full open day. So we'll be right back here on the Russ Hubler Live at 5 on WTRE.
Ford Abstract is a locally owned and operated full-service title insurance company. Title insurance ensures a free and clear title for both the buyer and lender's interests. Laura Littmer, owner since 2006 and in the industry since 1987, is joined by Debbie Schneider with 30 years experience and Maya Batterton, who joined in 2018. Working closely with lenders, brokers, and real estate agents, they can assist in selling, buying, or refinancing right through the final closing. Happy to help with all your real estate transactions. Give them a call at 812-663-2190 or email at fordabstract@voyager.net.
Now showing the free senior movie. WTRE invites you to join us for Fried Green Tomatoes. It's a classic favorite, and it's Emily's birthday pick for the month of August. Our free senior movie will be held on Thursday, August 22nd at 10 a.m. at Wolf Theaters. Doors will open at 9:30. This is brought to you by Morning Breeze, WTRE, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, Wolf Theaters, and Cobia Solar. Free popcorn, sponsored by DCMH. Tickets are available only at WTRE, and seating is limited. Call 812-663-3000 for details. And we give away great door prizes.
If you've been shopping for a good used car or truck, there's a good chance you're suffering from sticker shock. Yeah, it's all over. And that's why the boys at Scripture Auto do their very best to stock the lot with good, affordable used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. They get it. And they've been doing it a long time. They're also real good at finding that specific vehicle you're looking for. And they have financing available too. Scripture Auto Sales at 1615 North Lincoln in Greensburg. Pay them a visit. You'll be glad you did.
Do you need to see a healthcare provider today? Decatur County Memorial Hospital now offers same-day appointments. Get the care you need when you need it. Your health, our priority. Call 812-222-DOCS. That's 812-222-3627. Decatur County Memorial Hospital. The quality care you want close by.
Welcome back to the Russ Hubler Live at 5 on WTRE. What a beautiful evening here at the Power of the Past. The sun's started, it's not setting yet, but it's kind of behind the clouds. It's cooled off a little bit.
It is. It's a great evening to come out. They're open till 8. There's a lot of food out here. I don't know that we can burn through all 18 of these, but why don't we just hit the new ones this year, right?
Okay.
So Cheeky Monday is here. I've never heard of them, but they have wings.
I believe they're out of Westport, in the Westport area.
So come out and check them out. The St. Paul Tavern. I have been to the St. Paul Tavern.
As have I.
And they have great wings. I don't know that they're doing wings down here. It looks like tenderloins are their focus. Dirty Dough, you were talking about those earlier.
I was. We had one earlier when we were out for our morning show, and it was a warm chocolate cookie, like, you know, when you take it out of the oven, it's still gooey. Delicious.
And then D&D Lunchbox is here with walking tacos and BBQ.
Can't go wrong with either one of those.
That's right. The Beach Tiki Bar is here with beer, wine, and ribeyes.
Ribeyes.
That's 3 good choices.
Those are, and I believe, are they in the community building or in that area? I believe this year.
They're in the community building right there in the middle where the WTRE booth is during the fair.
Yes.
So you can stop by and check them out. And then the last new one this year is Sip and Slurp, which is apple dumplings, banana splits, and sundaes.
You can, I mean, full meal with dessert.
Right, and those are only the new ones. There's a bunch more. We'll just probably hit a couple each night.
Yeah.
And emphasize that. But there's lots of food options out here. Please come out and support the Greensburg Power of the Past. This is their 35th year. It's the John Deere year. There's a lot going on. And, of course, we're just getting started as Wednesday is a new day.
It is. Wednesday was a new addition. I think they may have done that last year as well, but newer to the show, adding another day for people to come out. And I love to see everybody comes out and they stay for the week, through the weekend. And again, you can get that wrist pass for $15, takes you through the whole weekend. Tomorrow we have a tractor pull at 6 o'clock.
That will be down at the track. And so it's down over the hill, which is great. Lots of good seating. You'll want to bring a chair or a blanket. You can participate in that as well. I think there isn't a separate entry fee for the events at the track.
I think we're covered. Once you're in, right, Clark? Yep. You're in. No separate charges. So pay that $5, get in the gate, or the $15 for the weekend. And they'll have more school kids, I believe. Greensburg was out this morning. 210 kids from Greensburg, and then North Decatur, South Decatur, and St. Mary's still to come. So they'll be hosting them each morning.
Which I think is a great thing. Of course, the fourth grade, which is when we start learning about Indiana history, I think they take a field trip to the State House. And it's really interesting, too, because this is truly a part of Indiana history. And I think it's great that it's happening right here in our community. And the schools have, taken the efforts to write that into the curriculum to make sure that this is on their list annually, too. Getting all the kids out of school is kind of a big deal. So I'm glad to see it's continuing to happen.
It is. And, I think a good point was made earlier that you can look out in the tractor field and see 100 years of history right there. And what a good lesson for the kids. And I know they'll have the chuck wagon going in the morning for them to see. And then I believe a Spark Show tonight at dark. Is that on the schedule for tonight? They usually have a Spark Show in the evenings if they can get them up and going. So we'll see if those come to fruition. That's one of my favorite things to see as it gets really dark. Spark Show towards the back of the tractor field. So just so much going on.
That's right. So this is going to wrap up our Wednesday night live at 5. We want to be sure to thank the Trailer Sales of Indiana for the stage.
Our fabulous stage.
That's right. We've moved outside for this event, which is great. It's actually a little less hot than at the fair.
It is. We have a good breeze.
Russ Hubler Ford is our title sponsor for the Live at 5, but we also really want to appreciate Scripture Auto, Ford Abstract, Decatur County Memorial Hospital, and Gillen Howe Funeral Home. Without the sponsorships, this wouldn't be possible. The WTRE team is working hard to bring all of these events to the community, so we hope that you're enjoying it.
All right. We also want to thank the Power of the Past for having us out and letting us be right here in the middle of all their beings and doings. Clark Martin's been great to us this evening, bringing us all of our guests. So we'll have more tomorrow. I know then Friday we'll talk a little more about the tractor drive, and there'll be the tractor parade. So there is so much more to come this weekend. We hope you'll continue to join us every night at 5 o'clock live here from the Power of the Past.
On behalf of Emily Versman, I'm Joshua Marsh, wishing you a great evening. We'll talk to you on Thursday.